Hello, everybody. This is Cool Quip. I'm here talking WWE, mostly United Champions and Jim Ross. Hopefully, this is my first of many videos regarding wrestling and maybe even sports or other sports and such. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for giving me time to watch this video. If you'd like to leave feedback, I'd greatly appreciate it, positive or negative. If I suck, go ahead and tell me where I suck. I'd love to improve. If you just think I'm some fat ass who watches wrestling with a laptop cam, so I suck, tell me. Not really sure the weight will be improving anytime soon, but you can tell me where I suck, like I said. And yeah, so I'm a big fan of NYG for Life's videos. That's part of the inspiration for this, definitely. Um, so, alright then. Let's get started. Okay, first, the retirement of Jim Ross today, really out of nowhere. That was actually very big. Jim Ross has left the WWE, and frankly, I'm very surprised. There are rumors that had to do with the Ric Flair incident at SummerSlam Access during the 2K Sports Symposium. Is that how you say it? Um, if you don't know, Ric Flair basically became Ric Flair and went on a number of tirades for like 40 minutes. And Jim Ross was the host, so he took some of the blame, which is bullshit. But that's Vince McMahon for you. I mean, he always kind of pins on Ross, and yes, Flair got a lot of the blame too. But fans were having fun. Foley and Austin were really egging him on. Got some heat because some perceived that he buried Daniel Bryan, but I saw the quote. It seemed more like he was just ribbing him, but you know whatever. But yeah, that's really big. Jim Ross, for my money, is the best wrestling announcer I've ever seen. I know he and many others have had Gordon Solie before my time. I've heard Gordon Solie; he's very good. Um, but Jim Ross, I mean, when I picture a wrestling announcer, that's who I picture. Just put in perspective how much better he can make a match. He can really be, should I say, like the sauce on a steak of a match. I think the last major match he called a lot NXT, I know, but the last major match I remember him calling WWE would be Taker and Hunter at 28, and that match was awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong, it had been awesome without JR, but he really Shawn Michaels super kicking Undertaker into that pedigree. It was emotional enough, but then like JR just added that little oomph to it. He had another great call in the match, Taker Triple H, technically two, but one in the feud. At 27 when like terrible JR impression coming when he Taker kicked out that tombstone. Lance going nuts. And he's like, I just had an out body experience. Again, sorry for the terrible impression, but I thought that was very that was a great call, and a lot of great calls. And to put in another perspective, look at 25 Taker and Shawn, which in many ways I consider superior to the 26 match. And don't get me wrong, 26 was a very good match, a lot better story going into it, and it suffered from sequel syndrome a bit. But look at how he calls that match, and then and to be fair, Michael Cole, I think he gets a lot more hate than he deserves. Heel Michael Cole was garbage. It was terrible. But Michael Cole's not terrible. He gets fed a lot of shit lines. He's been a lot better of late. So much better than Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler, terrible. But anyway, um, his call at 25, I thought really made the match. I remember when he dove on top of Undertaker. I thought Undertaker died, or not. Undertaker dove on top of Deuce, I think it was, and he didn't catch him, and I thought Taker was dead. But I love I was actually believing that shot. Call me Mark if you want, but I was believing that Shawn Michaels might be the Undertaker that night because I was like, I actually thought he won by count. I'm like, oh man, they got a call right here. Taker's done, and then, as you know, 5-star match probably, and I kind of felt it didn't feel as big. Anytime JR called a match, especially towards the end, it felt really big, and Cole just never really got that for me. It probably is also because I hear him, 52 weeks 2 different shows. But yeah, so Jim Ross will be missed. Cliche to say in wrestling. I wish him the best in his future endeavors. Where he goes from here, I have no clue. I doubt he goes to TNA. TNA's having a lot of money issues right now, and I don't even know if he wants to be in wrestling right now. He could definitely do some announcing. He's done that before. I've heard him announce for the Oklahoma City Thunder, which are a very good team, and he's done very well. He could do some college announcing. Obviously, Boomer Sooner. He's a very big Sooners fan, and so yeah, where he goes from here, I don't know, but I'm sure he'll succeed. He's a very talented individual. Okay, trying it from a lower angle, the light kept getting in the way. Sorry guys, I'm new. But yeah, so on to Night of Champions, and the first match is Tag Team Turmoil. It's in the pre-show. The winner getting the shot at the Shield, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. It's gonna be the Primetime Players. I know. The Usos. Tons of Funk. 5 teams. 3MB and what the hell's the 5th team? Sorry. Great viewing right here. Real Americans. Jack Swire and Antonio Cesaro. I can only imagine the primetime players winning here. They're the only team that's been relatively built up over the past few weeks, mostly due to Darren Young coming out of the closet. Which, by the way, I commend Darren Young for doing that, and it's not a very easy thing to do. I can't imagine. That said, we live in a different age, and anyone who thought he'd receive backlash for that, sorry to tell you, that's not going to happen. At least in the modern day and age, we're much more accepting society. I was anyway. I mean, not to sound like I'm just like, oh, but. And the most ridiculous statement I heard a lot of people say this, and it kind of irked me, was, and I'm not taking anything away from what he did, but he risked his job. No, he saved it. Well, not like his job was in jeopardy, but he's pretty much. I remember, I think Big Show had this with the Ironclad contract. I can't get fired. He kind of did that. I mean, if they fire Darren Young right now, the bad publicity they'll get is, I can't even imagine. It'll be staggering, to say the least. So he pretty much, I mean, back in July, if you had heard Darren Young was released, would you think twice about it? No. But now, Darren Young was released, they get a shitstorm. I mean, from everyone. And also, WWE knew. I mean, this was not something that he spontaneously did. Okay, so you're telling me that he gets off an airport, a nearly empty airport from when I saw the video, and some TMZ guy comes up to Darren Young, of all people, one half of the primetime players that's not the whistle guy, comes up to him, and he says, "Say, Darren, how do you feel about homosexuals in pro wrestling?" Just a random question out of the blue. And then Darren Young comes out, and you know the rest. WWE set that up. They've done that before with TMZ when Triple H got his new stupid haircut, and they were trying to sell that Lesnar retired him with the Kimura when he was trying to beat Shawn Michaels when he was on that kick, and he failed. But so they had the TMZ guy find him with the haircut, and take pictures and everything. But anyway, I digress. So that being said, a good face team act. They're charismatic. They're different. They're not, a douchebag like Sheamus or Miz, or a generic smiling babyface like Kofi or even John Cena, who's kind of fits into both categories. But they're different. Titus O'Neil, that dude oozes charisma. He's really good. He sucked in NXT. I remember back when I was watching NXT season 2, I used to think that guy was shit. He's gotten a lot better. His in-ring work's a bit better, but his charisma is really good. That said, the whistle needs to go. It's not as bad as Melina screaming, but no bias. So anyway, primetime players are going to win this match. I'm pretty sure. I can't imagine anyone else doing. Probably last eliminating the Real Americans, are they called? Yeah. And I can't imagine taking the belts off the Shield at this point. Their act has been re-pumped up with some fuel, I guess you could say. And there's a better saying for that, but I can't remember right now. They've gotten some more juice. I want to say they were stale, but they were definitely not as hot as they were when they first came in, especially when they were, beating Cena, Sheamus, and Ryback on Elimination Chamber. They did that, and now they've been reinvigorated. Is that the right word? Whatever. And since teaming with the McMahon regime, being their bodyguards and everything, I think they've been really good in that role. So, I'll pick the Shield to win. Maybe not clean because I'm not sure what other face tag team acts they could feud with at the moment. Maybe they do because I kind of have a plan for the Shield. And like I said, this is just, I don't know anything in terms of the booking or anything, but maybe they beat them clean, maybe they don't. But either way, I can't see Shield losing here, so take that for what's worth. Okay, interesting one here. WWE.com announced Ziggler versus Ambrose for the U.S. title at the pay-per-view, but they've since taken it offline. Kind of makes me laugh when people say that WWE doesn't rebook anything, and that's just internet speculation. They do it all the time. I mean, they do it when they've already announced it. That's shown here. Since WWE changes its mind about everything about 3 or 4 times, I'm going to go ahead and assume this match is happening. There's not a lot on the card, and that's the only opponent that's been built up for Dean Ambrose. So Ziggler's been buried of late. He's the guy in their doghouse right now. I think it's for stuff he said on Twitter criticizing WWE. I want to feel bad for him, and I do like Dolph Ziggler. He's a great talent, and anyone who sees his bumps can tell you about those. But dude, I mean, this is not the first time somebody has gotten in trouble for criticizing them, especially in public. I mean, yes, I'm all for freedom of speech, but to an extent, you got to know if you're gonna poke that, bear, you're gonna get mauled pretty bad. WWE has buried many people before. I think CM Punk got in trouble for it before, and that one wasn't even public. I think he just was burying Cena to Undertaker was the rumor. I don't know if that's true or not, but that kind of led to Taker taking the belt off him, which was stupid. NYG for life will tell you that all the time. Just look up his videos. But so yeah, Ambrose versus Ziggler should be a really good match if it does happen. I guess they built it up. Ambrose has been interacting with Ziggler a lot. He did have I remember, I think it was 2 weeks ago on Raw when Ryback faced Ziggler, and they teased that was Ambrose who was his opponent. And when Ryback was revealed to be the opponent, Ambrose, because he beat the hell out of Ziggler from behind, and then when Ryback's music hit, Ambrose did this face oh, he's awesome. So Ziggler, should be a really good match if it happens. I can't see them having Ziggler over Ambrose, especially since Ambrose is with the McMahon regime, I guess I can call it. So yeah, Ambrose goes over. I wouldn't be surprised if it's clean because Ziggler's in the doghouse, and if my predictions go the way they are, there's going to be a few dirty finishes. So yeah, take that for what it's worth. Okay, so we have the WWE Divas Championship. AJ Lee defending against Naomi, Natalya, and Brie Bella. First off, how is AJ Lee a heel in this situation? In any sense. She's outnumbered, I believe, 7-1. Every member of Total Divas hates her. She has great points. In fact, the announcers point this out that she has great points. She did work for what she has. She doesn't suck dick. For a bit vulgar, but that's kind of what it seems like with the Bellas. I mean, they're dating the 2 of the top 3 baby faces in the company. Don't want to speculate, but I bet that has something to do with where they are right now. Yeah, so, and Total Divas sucks. I mean, I know there's a lot, I don't know why, but there's a lot of people who are fans of it. If you are, more power to you, but I'll tell you right now, I think that show sucks. I'm not gonna go into why it sucks. Maybe that's around for another video if I get enough if I got enough support for this one. But yeah. So yeah, I don't see how she's the heel. I'm guessing that supposed shoot promo is probably gonna be a part of that Total Divas, which is oftentimes faker than WWE TV. So even though it's supposedly a shoot, even though they played her music, they didn't cut off her mic. They played her music when she left. I did laugh when Brie Bella, one of the Bellas, I can't remember which one. She said something like "Say it to my face" or whatever. She's screaming that. I'm like, she's a few feet from you. Just walk up the ramp if you want to do something. I mean, God. Then you're just, God, the Bellas. Among the most annoying things in the WWE. I will say this about Total Divas, not to get on that. That show makes John Cena out to be more of a face than anything they did on WWE TV. But anyway, I digress. I don't. I can see them putting on anyone really just because. I'm guessing this is, as much as I hate to talk about this show, I'm guessing this is what the second half of the episodes is going to be built around, is AJ Lee and the Divas trying to get the title. Of all the three, Natalia's pretty good. Naomi's a really good athlete. And to be honest, this could, between AJ Lee, Naomi, and Natalya, they could pretty much hide Brie and have a pretty decent match as long as, they stay coordinated enough and they don't try anything too complicated. Other than AJ as a heel, that is really weird. I'm still trying to get that dynamic, but this one, this might be the toughest match to call on the card, actually. I guess I'll go with AJ. Seems like, I hope they keep. I mean, I don't care about the Divas title, but the only one who's even relatively interesting is AJ. So yeah, I'll go with AJ. World Heavyweight Title match. Alberto Del Rio versus Rob Van Dam with Ricardo Rodriguez. NYG for life in his videos. He oftentimes points out that he feels the World Heavyweight title should just be done with, abolished, gotten rid of, everything. He feels that it's pointless. It demeans the title. He feels that having two world titles demeans the WWE title as the top belt, which I can understand that thinking, but at the time, I kind of thought they should keep it, or I didn't. I can't say that. I have a problem with it. Their thinking was, even though house shows really aren't the main source of revenue like they were years and years ago, they want to have two sets of house shows still, even though they don't have Raw and SmackDown. So they want to promote one with the World Heavyweight title and one with the WWE title. That said, I am now on the boat to get rid of the World Heavyweight Championship. It's terrible. In terms of its prestige, it's in the garbage right now. I mean, they had a chance to build something special with Ziggler when he cashed in. That crowd was, and granted, that was the Raw to Romania crowd. That crowd was awesome anyway, but they were hot. They cared about the world title. I was fine with him giving it back to Del Rio and doing the double turn. I thought that was cool. But then once they went to that, they went to Big E Langston versus Ziggler, and Del Rio has literally nothing to do. I mean, I don't know if the prestige of the title's ever been lower, and Kane held the title for like months. Think about that. I mean, like in 2010, he had one of the worst title reigns ever in terms of a world champion. Anyway, I mean, at least I could say before it was like Intercontinental title circa 1990, where, I mean, they would have good matches, and even though it was lower, I mean, CM Punk, people got pissed at CM Punk, I remember, because he flat out said it was less than the WWE title. Like, everyone knows it. I mean, and even though I hated Sheamus' character at the time, he was having really good matches on pay-per-view. He had an awesome match at with Big Show at Hell in a Cell that year. I think it was 2012, last year. He had an awesome match. Go back and watch that match. That match was freaking fantastic. And you wouldn't think so either. I mean, I dare say the best match of Big Show's career. He had a great match with Ziggler at No Way Out. He had some really good matches with Del Rio where they just beat the piss out of each other. That's actually the appeal of Del Rio to me in his matches. He's gotten a lot better since he first came into WWE, where he now just beats the piss out of people. His offense went from being maybe the worst I don't know, when he first won the WWE title, his offense was terrible when he had the heat. But now he beats the piss out of people. I love it. Um, Simple, but it works. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so Del Rio's offense has gotten a lot better. His match with Christian, I mean, SummerSlam was really awesome. People thought it was a two-match show. I thought his match with Christian was really good. He killed a few of those kicks. That Enzuigiri to the back of the head when Christian was on the turnbuckle, his back facing the ring. Oh man, I'm like, ooh. And yeah, another one. Oh, second stiffest drop kick I ever seen. Christian ran for a spear, and that was like, I almost say a shoot drop kick. He killed this man. And I thought his match with Del Rio Russell has been really good of late. I like him watching him wrestle. But that said, he doesn't matter in terms of character. I mean, title went from maybe Intercontinental title level circa early 90s to current US and IC level. In fact, I would argue that maybe Ambrose is more, or the US title might be actually higher than the World Heavyweight title just because Ambrose is a much more important character than Del Rio is right now. Take that as you will, but my point is the World Heavyweight title is garbage. And now, this feud with Rob Van Dam. I mean, talk about sticking a guy because you had no one else to put in there. I mean, they have him with Ricardo Rodriguez. Talk about a weird pairing. I mean, I get the storyline and all. And you gotta have someone for Ricardo. But, I mean, I heard Rey Mysterio was supposed to come back soon. Why not just wait till then? And I know, oh, it's sticking two Mexicans together. No, it's sticking two people that fit more than Rob Van Dam and Ricardo Rodriguez do. What the fuck? Seeing him wear his shirt, it just seems weird. Though it did, I don't want SmackDown much, but I heard Del Rio did some commentary on a match with Rob Van Dam. I think it was Randy Orton and Ricardo Rodriguez was at ringside, and it's talking about how he looks like a bum because he wears that stupid RVD, well, not stupid shirt, but because he wears that shirt now instead of the tuxedo. And Michael Cole's like, well, I think he looks more comfortable this way. And he goes, yeah, Del Rio, without missing a beat, goes, yes, because he is fat. I can't do it justice. It was very funny. But even then, I mean, still, this feud has, I mean, you talk about no legs. I mean, I guess they've done worse, but just this pairing is so bizarre. Even weirder is, you think they'd done this match last month when, okay, don't get me wrong, I love Christian and Del Rio. I thought it was a great match. The build was kind of, but, I mean, it was okay. I mean, Christian wants one more championship reign before he leaves, or before he retires. And, simple build, I guess. But, Van Dam was a hot commodity when he first came back. I mean, I almost thought he might. Okay, I didn't really think he'd win Money in the Bank, but I'm like, okay, well, he'll feud with Del Rio now because he's not in the top tier, but he's very. People are excited for Rob Van Dam to be back. He was getting big pops every night, and then they did everything to kill him. And then they had Christian. Christian, I love Christian. I think he's a great athlete. He's great promo. But why? I mean, he was going nowhere, and Rob Van Dam ended up being on the pre-show with Dean Ambrose, which almost should have been the match that Christian took part in because he was building to a feud with Dean Ambrose. They did like an outlaw switch there. That was kind of weird. I mean, now Van Dam has no momentum, and it was like, that wasn't the only thing they did. They had him win by count against Fandango. Why couldn't he just beat him? I mean, that's a little thing, but yeah, they were just trying to undercut him. It almost seemed like, granted, he's known to do that before, but I really hope that dog's not being picked up. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know who wins here. I guess Del Rio. It doesn't matter in the slightest. I mean, like I said, the Royal Heavyweight title's right now. There's I guess Del Rio wins. Van Dam could very well win. Either way, no one will care. Don't even unify. Just get rid of it. I don't even care anymore. I mean, the title's not selling any more house shows, people. I mean, you're telling me that people are clamoring to see Alberto Del Rio defend the title? No. I mean, in fact, we got two top baby faces right now, which is really bizarre when you think about it. Bryan Danielson and CM Punk. Danielson goes with one crew, CM Punk goes with the other. There's no need for the World Heavyweight title at all right now. I mean, at all. So, but God knows I'm not the first person to bring it up, and God knows I won't be the last. But until they do it, we're stuck with shit like this. So there you go. Curtis Axel and Paul Heyman versus CM Punk in an elimination handicap match. Mixed on this. First of all, this is really old school. I kind of like that actually. The build is not to see CM Punk versus Curtis Axel and Paul Heyman. The build is pay, and you will see CM Punk finally get his hands on this little fucker. That's very old school. That sounds like something like Cornette would do back in the day, or even Paulie Dangerously back in WCW. So I kind of like that, but and they had a really good angle. Was it the night after SummerSlam or the week after the Raw after SummerSlam? That's 5 times fast. But the one where Heyman beat the shit out of him with the kendo stick, I thought that angle was awesome. CM Punk has been far and away his best babyface run easily. You can tell he's really into it. But the promos he cut on the lead up to Lesnar, I remember when he's getting caned, when he's handcuffed, and he looks at Heyman and just goes, "Make it count, you son of a bitch." And yeah, obviously it's not gonna sound as cool coming from my fat mouth, but CM Punk, I was just like, okay, that was pretty awesome. That's something that Austin would do. That's something that Rock would do. And I don't mean to keep harp on attitude or characters, but they were good characters and likable, and I like it. And I guarantee Punk and Heyman are their inputs most of this feud. And go figure, it's probably, I would argue that it might be better than the main event feud, but I'll get to that. So the build right now is see CM Punk beat the shit out of Paul Heyman. He got his hands on him at SummerSlam, but he only got the vice in for a second. And then Brock Lesnar killed him with that chair, which it was so loud and so brutal. I actually laughed. I kind of feel bad, but I was like, oh, because I mean he not quite as brutal as the chair shot Lesnar took with I think it was Jeff Hardy, where Lesnar didn't get his hands up at all and he just threw the chair at him, but or the one with Undertaker where Lesnar used to be really stupid about getting his hands up. But I digress. So I was kind of wondering how they'd continue this feud because I almost thought it would end at SummerSlam, and I'm happy it keeps going because Heyman and Punk together are money. That said, I was like, okay, you can't have Brock Lesnar there every week, and I wouldn't. To be honest, even if they had him for that contract, I won't want him there every week anyway. He feels special whenever Lesnar's there. They gotta keep that. He can't be every other guy. But I was like, okay, well, where do you go from here? And I kind of thought they'd give someone new to Heyman. I like Curtis Axel. He's a good wrestler. He's not obviously he's not as good as his dad, but he has a lot of his dad's traits. But man, this is weird. As much as I kind of like the old school, the part I don't like is they've been killing Curtis Axel. They're basically telling him he's got no chance. They had him lose to Kofi Kingston on SmackDown. No one watches SmackDown. I get that, but still, I mean, it's Kofi Kingston and the IC title. I mean, good God, it's fallen. I mean, I was actually kind of happy when he won, not just because Miz sucks and I didn't want him to win, and they were, what the fuck is happening to Wade Barrett? But anyway, I was happy. I'm like, okay, he's with Heyman. They're going to give him a push, and they haven't done shit with him. Every time he's been on TV, he gets knocked out, he gets knocked down, he gets beat up. So they're building it like he has no shot against CM Punk. So CM Punk will easily beat him and then beat the shit out of Paul Heyman. And they even have Punk promise, "I'll break your face" or whatever. So that's kind of interesting, but that almost seems like a blow off. And if they do that for a blow off, really anticlimactic, especially after the match with Lesnar last year and the heat that had. Excuse me. Um, excuse me. And I'm kind of wondering. I mean, I'm glad Lesnar. I mean, I was surprised Lesnar won, but I'm glad. Believe it or not, that's Lesnar. That's the first time that Brock Lesnar has won 2 matches in a row since returning to WWE. But anyway, um, so I kind of want, unless I'm mistaken, and here's my opinion: CM Punk, without a shadow of doubt in my mind, is main eventing WrestleMania. They're building it up. He's talking about in many interviews. They're gonna give him the rub and give him main event of 30. Now, the only thing that's hard for me is who is he facing? I've been trying to figure this out. I've heard Austin thrown around. As much as I'd love to see that, I won't believe it till I see it. It's Austin says he's ready to go, but like I said, there's a lot of time between then and now. Maybe it does happen. I would be totally fine with that. I kind of thought Cena or Bryan. Bryan and Punk would be pretty good, but the characters aren't really going there. I'm pretty sure I'll talk about this. I think Bryan's gonna face Hunter at Mania. And I think Cena's facing Undertaker, and I'm just trying to think. I'm like, okay, I'm almost positive that match is happening. In fact, but if that match happens, it's gonna be hard for another match to be big enough to take. Excuse me. Wow, sorry. It's gonna be hard for a match to take that main event spot from Cena and Undertaker because that's a huge match. So I'm kind of leaning, and also, I'm not sure. And for all I know, they signed him to a different contract, but I'm pretty sure Lesnar has a deal where he can only do 3. He only does 3 pay-per-view dates a year where he wrestles. And he's done 3: Mania, Extreme Rules, and SummerSlam. So he's run out of those dates. Unless they have another contract or agreement, which they could very well do. He can't. Yeah, he's not going to wrestle for him for the rest of the year. So I could see a scenario where Lesnar wins the title at the Rumble and it's Punk Lesnar 2 in the main event. That would be pretty cool. Actually, that'd be really cool. Punk and Lesnar had an awesome match at SummerSlam. And I could see him topping at Mania. Assuming Lesnar brings out, the Lesnar he was there. Actually, I don't blame Lesnar at all for the Hunter feud. Hunter can't only have one type of match. Anyway, getting off track. So the trick is, how do you extend this feud till Mania? And again, I don't know if they are, but you could either do one or two things at this point if they are. You have Punk injure Heyman. Punk moves on to other things, and then Heyman comes back for revenge against Lesnar. That's not the route I would take personally, but it's a possibility. The other one is Heyman needs a new client. And my top nomination would probably be Big E Langston. And that might sound weird. I think Big E is very talented, and it's kind of weird they don't really push a guy like him. Look how many times they pushed Ezekiel Jackson. Ezekiel Jackson sucks. He's terrible. He has no charisma. He has no in-ring work. He's just a big guy. Big E has charisma. He has very good in-ring charisma. He carries himself like a star, and that's a lot of things that a lot of dudes can't get in WWE. Blackbird's not bad from what I've heard of it. If you've seen him in NXT, he's a very good babyface, but here he'd be heel, obviously. And he can move. That dude's big and he can move. I think his moveset needs some work. I'm also one of those dudes who doesn't like his finisher, but that's a nitpick, kind of. See, he's got to overuse a fireman's carry. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so I could see them, and Biggie, I haven't seen him since SummerSlam. I think he's been with AJ Lee. I haven't seen him. Or I don't pay attention to the Divas, to be honest. I just kind of read the results for them. Nothing against AJ Lee or anything. I think AJ is awesome, but most of the Divas kind of suck, especially the Bellas. Oh god, the Bellas. Anyway, so I think Big E could definitely use that, and I hope it's not Ryback if they choose this, because Ryback sucks, but especially this new bully gimmick. Anyway, I think Big E would be a good fit, and I think he could have some really good matches with Punk, and that would get him over a star, especially being put with Heyman. I think it could work. In fact, I was kind of thinking you build him as like Heyman found the next big thing in Lesnar. He's like the next big thing. Don't call him that, but the new next big thing maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but so you would have Punk eliminate Axel, just as he both gets hands on Heyman. Langston runs in for the DQ. He beats the shit out of Punk, lays in the line in the pool. And you build to that, and that goes maybe Collegiate Survivor Series, maybe even the Rumble. Punk wins the Rumble. Lesnar wins the title off of Daniel Bryan, conceivably. I'll talk about that a little bit later. And then at Mania, you got your main event. And Langston along the way could be established as a star. Maybe, again, this is all just speculation. I don't know. But that's kind of my thinking. So, either Punk wins either way. He either wins by pinfall, or he'd probably tap Heyman now. I can see that happening. But he either wins clean or he wins by DQ. So, there's that. Okay, main event time. Daniel Bryan challenging Randy Orton for the WWE title. Okay, first off, SummerSlam. These guys got a tough match to follow. I think match of the year thus far has been Cena and Bryan, and I've seen 5 stars in my book, and that match was. And I saw some good wrestling in just August. I saw Ishii versus Tanahashi, which was really good, and the other match was better. And it's Ishii versus I forgot the guy's name. Was it Shibata? Someone's probably going to correct me on it. If it was Shibata, or if it was or wasn't, I apologize for not remembering for sure. That match was probably 5 stars too. That match was really good. That being said, Bryan and Cena have a feeling like Punk and Cena did, and people were talking about, oh, they botched moves and stuff. A, Cena's working hurt, and B, so Punk and Cena botched more moves than Money in the Bank. Go back and watch that match. There's a spot where Punk's supposed to land on his feet off the FU. He falls right on his ass. I was like, oh, wow, when I saw him, like, that sucked. But didn't really hinder the match. And a few sloppy spots here and there. I mean, Cena, and he's working with give Cena credit. He worked his ass off, and you see his elbow. It looked like he had a damn bowling ball cut out of it by the end. It was disgusting. And he did, unlike some guys who use 3 initials for the name. He put Daniel Bryan over, and he did the clean job. I was shocked that he lost clean. Or I thought if he lost, he was going to lose to a small package. He put him over with his finish. He put him over more clean than he did Rock, because he slipped up against Rock doing the stupid people's elbow, and then Rock kept up and hit the rock bottom. Bryan, and also, that match felt so special when doing the yes chants. Look at him behind him, and they ended that match perfect. There's a lot of matches, especially indie matches, where guys don't know when to take it home. They ended that match perfectly. The slap spot was freaking awesome. That was they got that right out of Japan, but it was fine. It worked fine, and chant yes, 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 and the crowd behind him, and the crowd was awesome all night. But I had goosebumps, and some people are like, well, I didn't think it would end on the knee. I didn't expect that ending. I thought it was anticlimactic. I actually did, because I'm not showing off here like I did, because it seemed like the perfect spot to end it. The crowd's going nuts, and then he hits that big knee. I'm like, he could pin him right here. I told my brother, I'm like, I bet he pins him right here. And don't get me wrong, when he did, I was like, yeah, that's right. I was like, oh, I marked out. But so anyway, Orton and Bryan have a tough match to follow. Now, can they? Certainly. Orton's really good. And sadly, this is a newsflash to a lot of people. I hate when people say Orton's a bad worker. He's very good, especially as a heel. Both him and Hunter have been so much better as heels. Hunter's, I mean, I'm not a fan of Triple H, really. It's kind of the internet thing that you're not, but not because I'm the internet that I'm not. But, God, he's so much better as a babyface than a douchebag heel. That Raw after SummerSlam when Bryan's all beat up and he's trying to crawl back in the ring. He's like, "Come on, show that fighting spirit!" Awesome, just awesome. So condescending, so heelish. You could tell he wanted to be a heel for a long time too. He, like Orton, really hated being a babyface, and it fits because not only he buries people, even though he said some stupid stuff still, Like when he said Orton was holding the title for him, that was retarded. But when he like buries people, he conceivably some fans could say, "Oh well, he's a bad guy. He's full of shit." But anyway, um, there's been a lot of angles that have, and granted, it's a bit. This angle does feel really big. The McMahon regime. It's not just affecting one character in Bryan; it's affecting the whole roster. I like that. That being said, there have been since SummerSlam, there have been some very, very good things about the angle, and unfortunately, some very, very bad things. The good, people have pointed out that Bryan's been beat up, and they think he's been buried for that. He's not. He's not getting beat up by Orton. He's getting beat up by like 4 guys, and no one can help him. He's the one guy fighting back against the McMahon regime. Sorry about that. And he's the one guy fighting back against the McMahon regime. Everyone's watching because they can't help. I think that's a great character. And when he finally does, when he does get heat, and the people are just, they get more and more crazy for him. Listen, if people are starting to not like him because of this, I can understand. But people are getting more and more crazy whenever he gets a little bit of a comeback. Because they just go nuts and nuts for him. I mean, those stands are, it's special. I mean, I want to say, wrestling's had a lot of special characters. Austin, Rock. I think in Bryan's starting to reach that level. Like when you look in the stands and you see, yes, 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 the whole crowd. It's awesome. I mean, it gives me goosebumps every time I see it, and it's and the crowd's not sick of him. They're still behind him. It's not like Rey Mysterio where they pulled the legs out from under him, and because he was small, he was lost to Greg Khali like 2 weeks into his debut, even though he was the world champion. It's not like that. Bryan's fighting 4 guys. He's giving him a good fight. He never stops fighting. That's a likable character. It's much like Austin in that way. Um, so yeah, and I've also really liked the stuff they're doing with Cody Rhodes and the Rhodes family. And Cody had an awesome match with Randy Orton. I'll get to Randy Orton in a second, but an awesome match with Randy Orton and awesome promo too. Cody's his marriage, the way they kind of worked that in there to get him off TV was really good. And Cody, his great in his promo after the match. It was really great in his reaction when he got fired too. Goldust was really good with Orton too. I thought that was a really nice touch to continue the story. I didn't think they'd bring it up again, to be honest. Maybe have Dusty come out, but Goldust working. Goldust is a really underrated worker, especially when he came back. He had some good matches with Sheamus in ECW. I know ECW really didn't matter, but he had some good matches. He had who's the other guy? For some reason I want to say Vance Archer, which I don't know, but he had some good matches when he came back. So yeah, there's that. Orton has been really good. I mean, he's there's part of good thing about being associated with Triple H when you're a heel. You'll be booked strong as a heel champion. WWE's never done that, and it always pisses me off. Remember Miz in like late 2010, early 2011 when he was like getting his ass beat by Jerry the King Lawler, and then and then the Mania match with Cena had no heat. I wonder why. But Orton's established as a very dangerous champion. He's still he'll still backstab people to get what he wants. He's not, and he's also established by the fact that he's a 9-time world champion. But um, he's not a bitch. He is in the sense that he's like, hiding behind Shield and stuff. But at the same time, when the time comes, he can beat ass. He beat Van Dam. He had an awesome match with Christian a few weeks ago. And they've had a lot of awesome matches, but this time the roles were reversed where Orton's the heel and Christian was the face. I thought that match was really good. So yeah. And this match is looking good. Now, the bad thing. Mostly revolving around one character. It's not his fault. Shit they did with Big Show 2 weeks ago. Ooh, that was bad. I like, Big Show's a really good actor. I can see kind of why they use him in this role. He's probably one of the best actors. I remember when he ran over AJ Lee. In fact, when he was fighting with Daniel Bryan. He had some really good facials. He's probably one of the better actors. And I also find it funny that, on that topic, They're like, Hollywood doesn't want a 7-foot giant. Okay, Kurgan, dude from the Oddities. That dude's getting acting gigs all the time, and Big Show's a much better actor, and he's bigger than him. And that being said, Hollywood doesn't want a 7-foot giant. You mean when Hollywood's making comic book movies left and right and action movies? No, they couldn't want a 7-foot giant. What good would that be for? And he can act too. I mean, probably an Oscar winner, but he can act pretty good. I think he's probably one of the better actors in wrestling. He's not. That being said, they took the advantage of the fact that he can cry really, really well. They kind of made him look like a bitch, but I thought he was really good when I think I was on SmackDown. I don't watch SmackDown that much, but where they had him like stand at ringside during the whole show and watch him. Like he was a great cheerleader for Daniel Bryan. That being said, 2 weeks ago on Raw, okay, WWE's known for its revisionist history. I remember on the McMahon DVD, that DVD's full of bullshit. But this one might have been the worst. And I understand, history's determined by the winners, but good God. In the history of the Earth, I don't know if there's worse revisionist history than this. They basically replaced Andre the Giant with Big Show in history. I'm not kidding when I say this. Big Show was crying and sobbing, and Stephanie McMahon's like, sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna have a lie. It's alright. So, by the way, this is my first time using Sony Vegas. I'd used Final Cut a lot before. People have told me it's very similar. I'll take their word for it. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad. Anyway, so in this very stupid promo by Stephanie McMahon, she implied that, no, she replaced basically Andre the Giant with Paul White, Big Show. Like in history, like she was saying how when she was a little girl, he used to carry her around. No, keep in mind, Big Show's about 6 years older than her. And by her logic, she was, about 12 years old when Big Show first showed up in the company in 98. Someone pointed this out too. That means she was about 13 when she was liquored up and married Triple H. So, there's that. At least in storyline. So yeah, that was really stupid. So, I listened to the Brian and Vinny show. Great podcast. Brian Alvarez and from Figure 4 Weekly and Vince Verhey. One of them pointed out that Stephanie's gimmick should be that she is so stupid that she replaces current stars with like past legends. Like when she's talking to Cody Rhodes, she should talk about how I used to love your matches with Ric Flair. And like Randy Orton, oh man, it's so great that your arm finally healed, and I have to keep it in a cast. I thought that was funny, but yeah, that's stupid. That was really dumb. And then they had the main event, which the whole idea was Big Show could beat the shit out of Daniel Bryan, but he just doesn't want to. Never mind the fact that Bryan just beat John Cena, perceivably the top guy, clean, and therefore Bryan's the top guy. Why would you have him be buried like that? That was just so stupid. So yeah, but nonetheless, these two should have a really good match. They're two great workers. I was a bit underwhelmed by the match where Bryan first beat Orton, but that was because of the crowd. I guarantee this match will have a lot more heat for the title. Both characters, Orton in particular, is a lot more over than they were at the time. It's may have been a pay-per-view, so it's a big match. Obviously, the ending. Some people are saying Bryan's gonna win. I can't see that happening yet. I don't think they should do it yet. I'm thinking they're gonna go to Hell in a Cell with this, which is next month. But there's a pay-per-view in between called, I think, Battleground. And I was thinking, and this is rumored, but I doubt it will happen. Well, I shouldn't say I doubt. I have my doubts that it will happen. But there's talk of bringing back War Games, which would be really cool, kind of. They just released the War Games DVD, and if they did it, they have teams. So I'd have Orton win here. I'll tell you how I think he might win. In a minute. But I'd have Orton win here, and then have a War Games match with Bryan's team versus Orton's team. If Orton's team were to win, Bryan could never get a shot as Orton's champion, not get a shot for a year or different DNA, or even get fired, whatever. And if Bryan's team wins, he gets the shot Hell in a Cell. Have Orton's team beat him, the Shield, and another heel. I I suppose it could be Ryback. I don't know. Maybe it could be Triple H, but I think that's a bit early to bring him back in the ring. But who knows? And Bryan's team could be him, Ziggler, Miz, Big Show. And I know Miz kind of sucks, but he's kind of in the angle. And Cody Rhodes. I think Cody Rhodes would be cool. Some people were talking about bringing him back as the Midnight Rider. I don't think they'll do that, but that would be pretty funny. Well, actually, be pretty cool. And then they could, and then obviously Bryan's team would win. Maybe even taps out Orton, and that would lead to Hell in a Cell. And I think that's where Bryan should win the title. And perceivably, he held the title till Rumble, where he loses it to Lesnar. Probably do Triple H screwing him. Set up the Mania card, basically Lesnar, Punk, Bryan, and Triple H. And somewhere Cena and Lesnar get, or Cena and Taker get in there. Maybe even Cena returns at the Rumble at 30, or 29, and then Taker comes out 30. They have a stare down brawl, kind of like Hogan Warrior. And maybe they eliminate each other. Maybe Cena eliminates Taker. Maybe Taker eliminates Cena. Either way. Anyway, that's off topic. So how's this one end? No, don't. Hopefully not a DQ. That would really suck, especially as a pay-per-view main. I'd say, don't turn Big Show heel. Please don't turn Big Show heel. We've seen that so many times. Big Show's been heel probably about 500,000 times legit. I mean, but it's kind of tough to say. Also, no Montreal Screwjob, please. I mean, I don't need to see Randy Orton put Brian Belloc in. Ring the fucking bell. Maybe shenanigans, overbooked nonsense to set up. Overbooked by which I mean to set up the War Games match, and then Orton in the chaos rolls up Brian, maybe grabs the ropes or something. I mean, it'd be kind of weird, but it would work. Yeah, and then and again, this is speculation. I don't even know if they'll do War Games, but I think that'd be kind of good build up because it'd be really lame if they did. Orton wins here, and then Orton wins again at Battleground, then they do the Hell in a Cell. I think that'd be kind of lame. But yeah, there's a lot of routes they could take, a lot of ways they could go. I won't be surprised if I see if we see Brian win, but that would be kind of anticlimactic, especially after the build they've had. So yeah, hopefully a good show. I don't think it will top SummerSlam, though. I don't know if a show all year will top SummerSlam. It was very good. Obviously, once the DVD comes out, I definitely recommend it. If not just for the two matches, and even I really like I said, Christian Del Rio was really good. I don't. A lot of heels going over in this one. Maybe RVD does win the title. Doesn't matter, but so yeah. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. Like I said, leave any feedback, positive or negative. I got very, very, very thick skin, so you won't break my heart. But you know, don't be too harsh. I guess after saying that thick skin line. So yeah, thank you. Tune in again. I hope to be posting again soon. And I appreciate it.